Good afternoon to all the Mopar fans out there. I'm bringing you a special car. I met Hemi Eddie at U.S. Nationals with the mule pilot car, the 68 Hemi Cuda. We got to hang out, and he talked me into coming to the show, which I was coming with Stunkard anyway. But I want you guys to see this car. He is built from top to bottom, and it is a special car. So let's talk to Hemi Eddie about this badass ride. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you again.
Yes, sir.
We had a lot of fun down at the U.S. Nationals. That was a fun weekend. A little bit warm, but fun.
Yeah, that shoot we did under the Sox and Martin sign at 6:30 in the morning was really special.
You know what? You just said that, and the way the sunlight came up over the barriers and lit that car up, it was glowing. Man, I got goosebumps right now thinking about it, because that was pretty spectacular, because that was the first picture of a car I think ever taken under the Sox and Martin sign that they had put up for that lane. So yes, huge deal.
I had a great time, and we'll be there next year again, so we'll plan on looking forward to that.
So what I got to do is try to figure out how to get myself invited back next year. I mean, you can do the mule car once, but what's the second, what's the second event?
What do we got here?
But it's not a Hemi A body though. Yeah, it's a little different. So.
Exactly.
But let's talk about the Spencer Dodge.
Man, this thing's amazing.
So my customer, who I did a 65 A990 Dodge for, bought two cars at the same time, and he bought them in Minnesota in January.
Wow.
So I had to make 2 trips to Minnesota in January, which with the truck and trailer is always not the most fun thing to do. But I was supposed to leave on a Friday. I got bad news that the weather was bad. I delayed it 1 day, and within 5 days, I made 2 trips up and back to pick up both cars in a great, great weather corridor.
Wow, that's
So, I
great.
mean, it was like it was meant to be. And so I brought this one home, and then this one sat while I did the other one, and then I had a couple others in the way that I had to get done, and then we started working on this car.
Gotcha.
It was a complete ground-up restoration, rotisserie, if you will. Everything was done to it. We had to do a little bit of underbody sheet metal work. And all the aluminum was there. We had to find a couple aluminum pieces for the front. We were able to secure those.
Gotcha.
And then it was just a labor of love, just building everything, getting everything, and making sure that it went together as what you see here.
Yeah.
Talk about the last 3 weeks, a little bit interesting. I got a call from an engine builder saying, hey, the heads got a crack. We've been welding it, chasing it, and we can't fix it. We need another set of heads. Well, they're special cast iron K heads in 64. So I said, well, I have a set here. They're a match set. Let's trade them out. And the engine builder said, I got another Hemi I can lend you for the show. And I said, no. I cannot do that. It's got to be that engine.
Yeah. So
it kind of put everything under the gun. The car was done except for the engine. Well, today's Saturday, the 22nd? So last Wednesday, a week ago, I picked the engine up. We broke it in Thursday night on the run stand.
Okay.
I started tearing it down, put it on the engine stand Friday, but I had some other door panel issues I was working on because the vinyl and the cards came in, but I had to get them to the trim shop. So Friday night, taped the motor off. Saturday morning, I got up, came down, painted the motor, went home, let it dry for a few hours, came back, started dressing the motor, called a good friend, Tim Costello. Sunday afternoon, I said, Tim, I need your help tonight. I need to put an engine transmission in the car. I got to know if I have a header problem, because I never had the headers on the car.
Oh, okay.
And they were original NOS stall headers in the box.
Really?
From back in the day.
Oh, wow.
So he said, how long do you think us to do it? I said, a couple hours, maybe 3 or so. So he got there at 7, put the engine in first, put the transmission in, started putting the headers on. Everything was good until pipe number 4 on both sides. It would have ran into the inner fenders, and I would have had to cut an eyebrow out.
Oh, my.
It was not cutting this car. So frantic post, or I shouldn't say it, frantic picture and a call out to a guy named Ernie Miyamoto from MotoFab. He does custom exhaust. Just awesome.
Really?
He is really super good. Told him what I needed. He called me Monday. I said I need a huge favor and a house call. Monday morning he called me, said, I'm under the weather, I'll come Tuesday. Like 4 days ago.
Gosh.
He got there at 10:30. By 12:30, the pipes were modified, done. They fit through the alignment hole, no cutting. And then it was just getting everything ready to go. And neutral safety switch was bad. Had to get one of those. Fortunately, Mancini Racing had one. Shot down there, got it. And everything kind of came together over the past week. The door panels. So the vinyl, the cards came in on Friday. Took them to the trim shop. Guy says, I'm a little uncomfortable making them because I don't know where the pleats go. I got to line them up.
Oh, gosh.
I said, what do you need me to do? He said, take them home, put the cards together on the metals, put them on there, and draw a line. So in between getting the motor ready for paint, I'm doing that. Go to the trim shop. Thought I was dropping everything off. He had to bring home the cards and the door panels to put them on. Started doing it. Thought I'd do them real quick and take them right back before they closed. The rear cards were wrong. They were for a Plymouth and not a Dodge. They were 3 inches too short. Called out to Oregon, SMS. Said, I need you guys sent me the wrong cards. They overnighted me the cards for Saturday. Forget about those for now because I got to paint an engine, dress it, put it in a car. We got that done 10:30. I was ready to go home Sunday night and realized, oh my God, I got to drop the door panels off at 6:30 in the morning. So
talking about being under the gun.
Put the cards on the things, put them in there, marked it. I was there at 6:43, so I missed it by a little bit. I laid it out. Dale goes, yeah, we'll get them done for you.
Nice.
Got the phone call at 2 o'clock. They were done. They were in the car by, I think, 10 o'clock that night.
Wow, you talking about scrambling last minute to get this thing here?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it was. I planned for it. I knew in my mind what I had to hit in case I had a problem, I could recover.
Sure.
So it was problem, recover. What's the next problem? Just keep on recovering.
You have backups, which is a great plan.
Everyone was on call. I knew that the trim shop, I called them a month and a half ago saying, I may call you the last minute and tell you I need to do something. I've been dealing with them for 20 years. They said, not a problem.
Well, that sounds like you were really stressed to get this thing here, and it's a big deal, you know?
So that was the fun getting it here. But let's talk really about Spencer Dodge.
Let's talk about this car, and let's get down to the nuts and bolts of the motor. I know a lot of my Mopar fans would like to know about this motor.
So it is a 64 date-coated block, 6.4 of 64.
Wow.
Which would have been the right timing for this thing.
Okay.
It's a cast iron aluminum cross ram, 426 Hemi. It's got the 12.5-to-1 pistons. It is basically how they built the motor. Probably the only difference is there is a Racer Brown camshaft that I used. It just is awesome sounding.
It's better than a purple 509.
Oh, yes, that's a street cam. This is a race cam in here.
What's the lift on it?
I want to say it's in the high fives.
Okay.
It's real lopey. It's a really mean sounding camshaft. And we went with that. Matter of fact, the customer, when it started the car up the other day for him, he said, I want to put this cam in my other car. So we'll end up doing that. So, I mean, it's a factory Hemi car. The cool thing is what powers the rear wheels is actually the original 64 Hemi case with the no park tail shaft. I found the pieces separately. We married them together. So now the whole driveline in this car is from a 64 Hemi car, including the third member 456 punched case with the 456 gears in it. So the whole driveline is race Hemi like they would have put it in 64. I mean, the car is amazing. I mean,
oh my God, I'm looking at the detail work on this Hemi. I mean, just look at the plating on everything. Everything is so correct. Looks like did you use new bolts on the
no, they were all the original ones.
That was original and you replayed them?
We replayed them. I mean, literally, if I know the right fasteners on the car, we take it apart, and between my wife or Tim Costello, we sandblast or glass bead every single fastener on the whole car.
Wow.
It gets bagged. What needs to go to get,
Plated.
clear zinc or oh God, what's the gold color? I can't think of it right now. This one right here.
Gotcha.
It all gets bagged. It goes to the plating shop. I get it back, and then as soon as I get it back, I hurry up and put it in the right bag so I don't forget, which I wouldn't because I know every nut and bolt on these cars. And then it just becomes start building sub-assemblies. The dashboard has been done for probably a year.
Oh, wow.
It was all done, wrapped up in foam, put in my basement along with the steering column and everything else. So the interior is
amazing. Let's go ahead and take a look inside.
absolutely. I mean, there's those door panels I was talking about. You know,
wow.
they were done, and if you look, the pleats match and everything. So those are the super stock door panels. So you have no heater, no radio, no sun visors, no dome light.
Wow. They didn't put much of anything.
No armrests, no adjusting seats.
Unreal. Just to lighten this thing up.
Just to lighten it up.
And what does this car weigh?
You know what? I got to get one on a scale. I've never done it before. You know, they say they're about 3,350 pounds, but, you know, don't quote me on that.
That's light for, you know, a full-size car.
One of the real cool things is the tachometer is a stall tachometer. It's patinaed. I couldn't restore it, but look at the face on it. It says stall. It says stall on it.
It sure does. Neat. I've seen a couple of those tacks in some of these Mopars.
So Jones Engineering is usually who made the tacks, and then I guess Stahl. They made some for Jerry Stahl, and he put his name on them. So
okay, they didn't put the
no sill plates on the outside, and because no dome lights, there's no door pin switches in it as well.
Unreal.
And
they
those were never threaded,
didn't they? Now is this a reverse body?
It is
torque light.
Yes, if you look, it goes first, second, drive instead of drive second, first like it would be in a normal car.
Okay, gotcha.
So the first and the drive buttons were switched.
Gotcha.
But you just can't switch them. They're unique buttons.
The wheel is timeless. I just love this steering wheel and the rim blow.
Yeah, it's a
cool.
tricky wheel to restore because that gold is a little thin aluminum. You got to remove it and then put it back in. Of course, then you got to paint all the black and, you know, do it right. It takes a little bit of time, but, you know, nothing's undoable.
Wow, that dash is just simply fantastic. I mean, who'd you say restored that dash?
Well, the cluster bezel was done by Vacuum Oriental out of Romulus, Romulus, Michigan, rather.
Okay.
They've done most of my dash plating for me for a while now. Very reasonable, pretty quick turnaround. I like the guys down there.
Gotcha. And this is a glass hood.
No, aluminum hood, aluminum scoop.
Gotcha.
Aluminum doors. And the funny thing is, not only are the doors aluminum, but what you can't see, the window that holds the window onto the regulator, that's aluminum. And then the bottom of this is also aluminum. There was a lot of trick parts that people didn't realize that were on these cars that you couldn't see. But I mean, like I said, it just is amazing what is there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can do it, but if you can get a picture of the drive shaft is an original drive shaft. It was with the car. It was painted and it looked terrible. And I wanted it to have a natural finish to it. So I gave one of the guys that helps me out, Tim, I said, Tim, I need you to take this sandpaper and I need you to sand every bit of paint off this, only go in one direction.
One direction.
I can't have anything going off to the side because when it's done, I want it to look like natural. I did put a matte clear on it just so it doesn't rust, but the drive shaft looks brand new.
Original plating that was on it, or it's a cast metal?
It's just steel.
It's just steel.
But it looks absolutely beautiful, and the part we were able to uncover the part number on it as well.
To restore a drive shaft, how much time did it take you to mess with that?
It was probably
a couple days. Here and there.
6 hours.
Gotcha.
But there's a guy that makes a perfect one, but it's a little over $2,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but no, you couldn't tell the difference between his and an original one.
But this has got a number that coincides with this car, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, the part number's correct. Yeah.
And these had no VINs on them.
Well, the VIN's in the door.
There is a VIN?
when you were looking at the no door pin switch, right above it was the VIN plate, and it has the fender tag on it.
Okay.
And of course, the fender tag matches.
Gotcha.
The fender tag matches the number on the package tray in the back, which is covered up by the rear seat delete.
Well, let's take a look inside the trunk on this one.
We can, but it's kind of full of our personal belongings.
Gotcha.
But we can do that.
No sweat, no sweat. Now, I really like the wheels. That was something that they did back in the day. Tell me about what that does.
So a racer can watch for wheel spin. you know, they can see it because all of a sudden now you have a very good contrast to colors, so they can watch the wheel spin. I think it was also done to make it look a little bit unique. But what's kind of cool is we find these 60-year-old drag radial or drag slicks that are red and white walls.
What?
And
now, what type of tire is that?
You know,
M&H?
No. It's just a drag rate. It's just a
drag radial.
Yeah.
It's not real.
No.
Compact.
It's not a radial. It's hang on. It is a super stock dragster.
Really?
That is what's on the tire.
And that's an NOS part, or is that a remake? That part has
never been on a car before.
Holy cow!
Until now.
You know, they had to. There's very little rubber. You know, when they start dry riding a little bit, I don't see any of that on there.
It was kept in a very good environment for 60 years. The only thing that was probably bad about it was all these little pie crusts were filled with like a brownish, yellowy.
That funky that gets on rubber.
And you can't clean it off. I mean, you can.
But you're going to damage the tire.
So we tried clean it, and it just wasn't nice. And it was bad enough that I didn't think I could use the tires.
Wow.
And then I'm like, you know, I do something with upper and lower control arm bumpers and things like that where I'll give you a trade secret. I glass beat them. Number 8 glass.
Really?
You put them in there, you beat them, they come out looking brand new.
Is that something?
So I called S&S Stripping and I said, talked to the owner, Chris. I said, Chris, I need you to do something for me. He goes, what's that? I go, you ever sandblasted a tire before? I say sandblast, but it's glass bead.
Glass bead.
He goes, no. He goes, but you know, he goes, people bring us stuff with rubber on it and we do it. I said, I need a set of NOS tires for the most part sandblasted.
He's like, what?
He said, let's bring them down and let's take a look at them. So I take them down to him, and they look at him, and his cousin Nick comes out, and they're like, yeah, we never done this before. And we have a long relationship where they will do things because they know I don't hold them liable for anything. And I started something with them years ago that I was told absolutely no, hell no, no. And then a few phone calls were made and it became a yes. And that was sandblasting a painted car and not hurting the paint. They didn't want to do it, but we did it. And I had to redo an underneath of a Thunderbolt.
Okay.
Couldn't hurt the exterior paint because it was just painted, but the underneath was horrendous.
Oh, wow.
And that was the only way I knew I'd get it clean and make it look good. Once again, the answer was no, but it turned into a yes, and the results of that car turned out very good. It's been actually at the show a couple times.
Oh, nice.
It's a number 50 Thunderbolt.
You know, there's so many things out there that is common sense. You know, that's something my dad instilled in me. He said, you can be book smart all day long, but if you got the common sense, you know, you can fix anything, do anything, you know, and that just proves it right what you said there.
What's the little stay, you know, invention is the mother of, necessity is the mother of invention. When you have to do something and you have to get it done, you got to figure out how to do it, and you have to invent something to do it. Well, I took those tires to them. They looked at them and said, we'll give it a shot, but we can't guarantee anything. I was hoping I could just wait and pick them up. But they said, give us, you know, pick them up this afternoon. I'm 12 miles on the way to get a drive shaft, and they called me and said, your tires are done. I said, how do they look? They said, they look really good. So we would have never guessed that. So then I said, well, I'm going to go pick up the drive shaft. I'll be back. And that's basically, they took all that gunk, got rid of it, and the tires look beautiful.
Unbelievable.
It's just one of those details that you have to do to make it right.
Well, you know, I can tell that you're a perfectionist on everything you do and touch is amazing. I saw the work on Myron's car, on the mule, and I'm just in awe of what you do, man. I really would like to come when I get to Michigan and come and visit your shop, spend some time, and I'll roll my sleeves up. I've been a body man. I've been a mechanic for many years. I'd love to help you with some of this stuff.
Well, the interesting thing about my shop, and I tell this to all my customers, you know, you see these things on TV and all that. Mine's not a Taj Mahal.
Doesn't matter.
If you look at the hole in the wall I work in, You're like, oh my God. But you know what? It's a working shop, and the cars that have been through there are pinch me cars.
Yeah.
I mean, for instance, 2 down is the Bill Ryder Jerry Alderman Ford 62 lightweight. I didn't paint that car, but I had to do the engine compartment, chassis, and everything on that car because it needed to be done. So that car was in my shop. The Tempest aluminum wagon was in there, but then I said it really needed to go back to the guy that restored it to take some of the stuff off it. And then there's a Max Wedge car way down there with the stripes on the roof.
All right.
We did work on that car. So, I mean...
You do other than Mopar, everything.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'll do whatever. I know these like the back of my hand, so I don't have to think too much. I know every nut, every bolt, every screw, every fastener.
Yeah.
And these are easy. Some of those other ones, I've done enough of the big Fords that I pretty much know what goes where and why. But yeah, I'll do any car. I did a clone LS6 convertible that went to Switzerland.
Oh, wow.
That was funny because the day I put that on a container to go there, I picked up the mule car to bring it to my shop to get it running.
Neat. Well, do you, you're more than happy to talk about, how they can get hold of you if people need cars restored. I don't know how they would get hold of you.
Well, I mean, so I'm on Facebook, Ed Hemi Eddie, Edward Michael Strzelecki, actually, but my phone number is 248-346-6454. The problem right now is I'm probably booked through next year and into the following year. And
unbelievable.
When I say that, there's a Superbird I got to get, and I think once I do that car, they have possibly 10 more cars.
Oh my gosh!
And
they've already bought you.
It's a good possibility I'm done with customers for life, and then the customers I already have are talking about what we're doing next. And when I get home and I'm doing an A12 car for a guy in Ohio, and then I have to start on the Brian Coleman 65 Ultra wheelbase car, taking it from a street Hemi and putting a blown alcohol motor in it, the way Brian Coleman ran that car in the famous picture that Jeff Stunkard took whenever it was doing the fiery burnout that Mopar used in
his famous picture.
His famous pictures, and Mopar used that and created posters and everything of that car. So that's on the docket to happen very quickly as well.
Speaking of, I think we need to get over to the... do you want to go over to
Yeah, we definitely got to go hear the seminar.
Yeah, let's head that way. Maybe a little later, we can talk about some of these other cars you've been involved with.
Absolutely.
It's nothing but good publicity for you, and you know what's up with them because you did it. So this interview is better than any of the interviews I've done so far. Well, reason being, you did this car yourself. You know what's been done. You can explain everything to the T, and that's what I like on an interview.
I mean, literally, I've touched every nut and bolt on this car, one way or the other, whether it was putting it together, taking it apart, and the care that has to be taken when you're putting moldings and clips on an aluminum fender so you don't damage it. It just takes care, it takes passion, and for whatever reason, I love these cars. I would never hurt them. So the only way to do them is make them as perfect as I can.
They're like your children, aren't they?
Oh, they are my children. Yeah. I could go on and on, but case in point, the guy that owns the Bill Riddler car and the Jerry Alderman Ford and the one next to it, he was selling a bunch of his collection in 2019 down at Kissimmee. And he asked me to come down and help him represent, because I think 9 of the cars I did for him were going to be there. So he had a nice shirt made for me and all that. Nice. And I went down there and, I was answering questions and all that. Well, it got time to take them out of the big tent and put them in the aisle between the big tents outside. And once again, they weren't my cars. I was representing them. But I'm watching the weather, and there was a line of thunderstorms heading toward us.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like,
I remember that. It rained like crazy.
We need to get the cars inside. And they weren't my cars, but they were my babies. I couldn't let them get wet. I couldn't let them get damaged. So my stomach was churning, and thank the Lord, the storm went whoop, right around us. And we got a little bit of rain until we got inside, and then the rain came down. because another storm came right behind it. But the first one missed us, and we would have been outside. So
oh my God.
they are my babies. They're my children.
Well, you going to be at Mecum this year? Next year?
Well, you know, it all depends. The mule car, he's talking about taking it down to Kissimmee, and if it does, probably I'll be probably part of that program. I don't know yet.
He was talking about Indy, Mecum Indy. I talked to him earlier about it.
Oh, well, Indy or Kissimmee. It's going to be one of the two.
I told him I'd bring it to Kissimmee.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there for 2 weeks as well, so we'll get to hang out and maybe drink cold beer and break some bread and talk about these cars.
That'd be fine with me.
So, well, I sure appreciate your time as usual. You're the man. And let's get together and do some of these other cars a little later. But I think we need to get down and listen to Stunkard because he knows what he's talking about.
Yes, he does. And talk he does.
Yes, he does.
As do I. So thank you again.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
No
Thanks
problem
so much.
at all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.